Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday evening. Hope you're well. It's a beautiful Saturday, and this is the Talk and Sip Saturday night, and I hope you're well. The 17th of February 2024. I want to thank you those who are coming in on TikTok, those on Instagram, those on Facebook, and especially those on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, tonight is going to be a very interesting night. Well, every week is an interesting night. I want to thank those especially saying hi on Instagram, Stacy and all those. Every night is an interesting night. And this week I want to talk about an interesting bit which has happened, of course, which is uh, Black Panther Wakanda. I'm sorry, Bob Marley. I mean, based on what I've been seeing, one would think that it's Wakanda all over again because everybody's dressing up and going to the theater. And there's a video which I saw, which is a very interesting one, where someone said to the guy, "What film do you want?" And then you just hear the Bob Marley music start to play. And you see these four or five people stand up there in their Jamaican outfit. One of them like a dreadlocks, you know what I mean? Like to say, hey, so that's a very interesting bit. And I believe it's an exciting time for that. But also I want to talk about again, the local government debate, which is, it's going to happen tonight at, I think 9 o'clock Jamaica time, the local government debate. But what I'm going to do, I've invited a couple persons who are independent candidates to see if they can come on at, in an hour time, which is 11 o'clock time, which is 6 o'clock Jamaica time, to hear what they have to say and what their views are, because they've been saying that it is only PNP and JLP getting the airplay. So I would like to hear what they have to say. So I'm going to invite one or two of the candidates to come along as well. And if you want to join in and want to be on the show, please, all you got to do is send you the link and you can come in onto the main show. Those on TikTok, not really going to be opening up for TikTok. But if you want to come onto the YouTube channel, which you can go live on Facebook, and please do as well. But let me just introduce my co-host tonight, O'Neill and Herbert. How are you guys doing? Good?
Doing fantastically well, I think.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's from the great state and the great country of Jamaica.
Oh, you're in Jamaica?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm in Virginia.
And you look like you use coconut oil on top of your head, man.
I know. No.
Yeah, coconut oil.
And Herbert, you're in the great Jamaica as well, are you?
No. I'm in London.
You're in London.
Yeah. Where the night sky is grey.
Yeah. I'm still in Silver. I'm coming to London next month.
Is it?
Wow.
Yeah, hang on one sec there. Hang on.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. O'Neill say he's coming to London next as well. The funny thing about it is that you meet O'Neill and myself is very good friends, and we have never met in person, believe it or not.
but you won't be here when it comes, will you?
Yeah. I've never met, but we've been communicating for years. One of my good friends, I mean.
Are you going to be here?
Yeah, I'll see him definitely when he comes, Michelle, welcome. And how are you?
Hi, Michelle. Balance
and wellness to you, Silburn, panel, and all in the chat. Fantastic. Michelle is a great person there in the land of should we say the land of Trump? Is that the right way to say that, Michelle? You can correct me.
I think last time Michelle probably get that email asking from Trump asking her to pay $1 or $5 if she has it towards his legal fees.
Is that true, Michelle? Did you get that? But Herbert, listen, what are you drinking? Let me just get straight into that bit there. And
I'm just drinking some water, man.
Yeah. When you say that I'm just drinking, it sounds like one is about to say, I'm drinking. Somebody can sing it. I'm drinking something and Red Bull.
Listen. Stereotype dancehall. Dancehall is not your thing. Stereotype.
So Michelle, I'm having some sparkling water, which is really good. And
I am back.
you're back.
Yeah.
I was asking. I was saying a while ago to O'Neill to Herbert that when he said he's drinking water, it's not like he was about to sing. I'm drinking, And then he said to me that I should still talk.
Still that dance, man.
Yeah. I'm drinking some tea.
and and uh, and I always like have a dash of wine. What are you drinking, Anil? What are you drinking?
Some tea.
Oh, tea. Oh, tea. Oh, wow, herbal tea. I see one Jamaica TV, which is Mr. Well, I'm not going to assume that it is Mr. Joseph Patterson, but it's UIC there. Um, welcome as well to the discussion. As a matter of fact, one Jamaica TV. I'm supposed to be getting one of those independent candidates coming on at 6 o'clock, if anything, and just ask a couple of questions. What is their vision? Because I believe the 9 o'clock you're going to have the debate, which is taking place. And so, if you want to come, just let me know, and I can ping you the link as well. One Jamaica TV. One Jamaica TV is the television face of the UIC as well. Listen, I was just talking a while ago about Bob Marley, the big film. I was talking about Wakanda. What's your take on this? Well, first of all, I wonder if I have the right and I have the authority to speak on a film or to touch a topic which I have not watched a film as yet. Who has watched a film?
No,
I haven't watched it yet.
I just watched. I have it queued up to watch tonight.
You're gonna watch it tonight?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. I hope to one day.
Okay.
But it's just for me. Some Jamaicans, it's just another way of jumping on a bandwagon.
What, to watch a film?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. The reason being,
yes.
I went to police training school in the 90s, between November 92 to May 93. And up until then, and many years later, the Rastas were dehumanized.
Yes.
So to see Jamaicans jumping up and lauding Bob Marley, to me, that's just trying to fit into a crowd that you don't belong.
You want to
and
say that?
Remember that? Huh?
Go on. No, go on, please.
And remember that Bob Marley was accepted internationally before he was accepted locally.
Yeah.
So I think Jamaicans jumping up now to go see a Bob Marley film, someone whose music half of them don't even listen to up until now. I think it's a bit absurd.
Ani, what's your take on that, Ani?
I celebrate the movie in a couple of ways. I think if you just rewind the clock of history, Bob Marley passed away in 80 or 81, right?
81.
I think his music is timeless, right? It doesn't matter who you are, what part of the world you have traveled. True. In some creases and corner, you will hear Bob Marley music.
Yeah. And
the fact that now you have a new generation that will get to understand the culture, the cultural icon that Bob Marley has become. And we're putting it in movie. I think it's a great thing for the Jamaican culture, for us to celebrate that a small country like ours with 2.93 million people, our culture has spread worldwide. And the fact that you have Bob Marley, who is one of those icons, and his Rastafarian philosophy is now permeating to a new generation of people worldwide. I love it for that fact, right? I love the fact that, you go any music festival, Sweden, right? He has spawned a movement, and I actually sent my son, who is into music, I sent him a performance of Bob Marley in Santa Barbara in 1979. And when you zoom out into the crowd, there's nothing but white folks just vibing to Bob Marley. So I think I look at it from the lens that, we're celebrating Jamaican culture because Bob Marley is a big part of Jamaican culture. Rastafari is a big part of Jamaican culture. And anytime we get, as I said, as Jamaican people to dominate the world, right? Because name me one other culture that you could just pick a country and say that culture is ever creases on corner of the world. Remember, the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that they might know during apartheid, if you look at Bob Marley music, right, they used to scratch certain songs from Bob Marley music because they didn't want them to hear it. Yes. So I celebrate the fact that 40 years after Bob Marley, we could use Bob Marley and what he represents uplift the Jamaican culture. So I love it that people in New York City, all over the world, are celebrating this. So I look at it as a positive. That's the way and the fact that I think the box office today, I think it opened on the 14th. It's already, I think, $50 or $60 million. It's a huge win, I think, for Jamaica. And I hope that it comes to 300 million, because it's like you go back to cool run-ins about the Jamaican offset team, right? That, if you look at what that spawned, where we now have downhill skiers. Jamaica don't have any snow. Right? So I think it's just another feather in the Jamaican cap that I'm super proud of, that culture is adopted worldwide.
Well, fantastic. I did ask a question a while ago who was attended to watch a film, and I've got a Miss Emika Beckford who has watched the film. Emika, can you...
Be careful what you give away, Emika, because I may not watch the film yet.
Hey, how are you?
You're not going to tell out the film, Emika.
You know, any people go show and talk about the show right through?
Hold on. All you guys are blocking her from talking. Emika, they know why you don't talk. I'll block you. Well, listen, let me just say something, a disclaimer. Emika Beckford, she's fond of What's Cracking Seafood Boil, and that is awesome, ladies and gentlemen, But
and where's that?
It's in London. I'm based in Borough, SE1.
Is it London Bridge?
Yes.
Okay, really?
Oh, yeah, nice. So when I come, I'm gonna come visit it.
Yeah, feel free to go on the website. It's what'scracking.com. Or you can join us on Insta at what's.cracking. It's amazing.
No,
food.
It's better to join us in the restaurant. The food tastes better, not true?
Well, it's going to be a better experience, but the food is amazing. Not because it's mine.
No. The food is better in the restaurant than on Instagram.
Yes, but the restaurant is coming soon. It's next month. So stay tuned.
Nice. I'll get my discount. I'll just say I know Emika.
Yeah, you have to come and do date night, right? You have to come and do date night at the restaurant.
O'Neil, now you can go.
Yeah, I'm coming to London.
Date night, now you.
Oh my God, I love it.
well, O'Neil from Virginia will be in the UK next week, and I will just say next month. Yes, next month. And so definitely we get it. And for the record, I was just saying to person that O'Neil is one of my good friends, and we have never actually met, have we, O'Neil?
No, for years.
For years.
Well, we have actually met in the virtual world, but not in
the virtual world. Hold on.
It sounds like the date night should be Sid and O'Neil, not the other way around.
There's a guy.
Not really, no.
Hold on, there's a guy named what's his name again? Corey. Corey always come on to the show, and we ask him, where is he from? Where is he based? He said, I'm on the internet.
Oh
Emika,
God.
have you watched the show? Tell us about the show. What's your take on the Bob Marley show?
Well, as we know, the movie came out on the 14th, which is Valentine's Day.
Mm,
And like everyone or every Jamaican, we all had our own opinions.
mm,
So I thought, okay, let me just not sit and be like the, I guess following the crowd. I went to see it 2 nights ago at Everyman in London Bridge, and
mm,
I was pleasantly surprised at how the actor, what's his name? Kinsley.
mm.
So Kinsley is British. He's 38.
Yes.
And his wow, his take on Bob was very it was very, what would I say, very mild, very gentle. I saw Bob in a different light. Obviously Bob died in 81. I was born in 80. So I don't really know much of him, obviously from a life perspective. But from the stories that, Jamaica has told, yeah, they did well. I don't think a Jamaican actor would have done it any better. I know we keep bashing people or, saying, yeah, why didn't we go for a born Jamaica? Somebody was born there, but I think he did it well.
What do you think about that point there? What Emika said, guys. She said something. A lot of people were bashing the fact that Ziggy Marley said they couldn't find anybody, or alluded to the fact that they
Well,
couldn't find anybody
I
Jamaican.
There are people there, but I mean, the way how he looks, I mean, he's mixed race himself. Bobby's mixed race. I mean, you know,
Right. So I
that-
you know,
go ahead.
from a movie perspective, I think from what I've read and heard, obviously I've not watched the movie, but I've seen a couple of interviews, and I forgot her name, but he embraced the culture. What I understand, he spent months with the family, visiting the different areas of Bob, and I think that's positive. And the clips that I've seen, it seems he's done a really good job. I think you always have the narrative of, if we're representing X, we should use a Jamaican. Not necessary.
Mm,
And I think if I remember, Amika, he has, West Indian roots. I think his grandmother is Trinidad, right?
Yes.
So,
Uh-huh.
the fact that he has embraced the culture and the way he has come off in interviews is that he has enjoyed, and he saw Bob in a different light. Because remember, most of us, even, I was born in 75, most of us, you saw the public version of Bob. We don't
Right.
know who
Exactly.
Bob was behind the scene. And from what I
Exactly.
understand, this movie is supposed to give you a glimpse into the behind the scene, who Bob was as a father, who Bob was as
That was very much apparent in the movie. It was very
right, a
apparent.
girl's man, if you want to call it, or our husband, right? Depending
But
and
do you know what, O'Neill? They showed less of that, to be honest.
mm,
What they really portray in the movie is that, his dad is white and he was obviously not accepted. Um,
mm,
and I mean, you're gonna watch the show, so I don't want to tell you too much of it. But they kept drumming that into the audience, like, yes, his dad was white,
yeah.
his mom was black, but it was he's from a sole single parent household,
Mm.
obviously being raised by a village, as a community. Um, so yeah, it
Let-
wasn't anything of womanizing or anything like that.
So they didn't show that bit of it there. Someone just said it was a love story, a love affair between
Yeah.
Rita and Bob, which
It
Rita
was
was.
more about Rita as a wife, as a support system, as you know, he's the head or she's the neck, whatever it is. But she was very much there in all aspect of decision making, and a strong black woman. Like she was really like depicted
Yeah.
as that.
Can I just bring in Michelle? Michelle, how are you?
Hi everyone, how you guys doing?
Hey Michelle,
Michelle.
how you doing?
I'm
Yeah.
doing well.
What are you drinking,
Okay,
Michelle?
my
You tell
take
us.
on
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
my take on it, right? At first I was on that side that I was saying they could have gotten some Jamaicans to act.
Yeah.
But I was just talking to my daughter this morning, and we were talking about the movie because I'm planning on going to see it. And my daughter was like, Mom, a lot of people, she's American born.
Yeah.
She's like, a lot of people think that it's a biography of Bob Marley. It is not. It is
Mm-hmm.
just a movie. It's not his biography. So all what people is going to expect to see, since it's a biography, his whole history of when he's growing up from small and coming through, that's not what you're going to see. This film was mostly around his song One Love, One Heart. That
Right.
was the era that they really did it in. That was the era that they are really capturing, is that era. So we as Jamaicans, we have it off and we think that, oh, it's a biography and I'm supposed to do it this way or that. But I'm just getting the understanding now in which hey, I'm cool with it. I
Yeah.
wish they did have some Jamaican actors and actresses in it. Um, because I see it like just like how you could teach them the our dialect. You could do the same thing with a Jamaican actor. Teach them all to do the acting, cause we're good actors. Me not care what nobody say we can't act.
But Michelle.
Yeah. Yes.
So reading, obviously, when I'm reading Ben Kinsley's interview, that's the guy that played Bob, and everyone that was casted for the movie were handpicked by the kids.
I know. I know that. I
Yeah.
know that.
So the other guys were obviously of Nigerian heritage, but I thought when you see it, obviously it makes sense. They really embodied Jamaica. You could tell that they went there and they spent time. They understood our culture. They got everything from just the way of life, the mindset. It
Mm.
Yeah.
was like you would
Well,
never think that they're not.
no, we can't know that they're not by
No,
them
no.
dialect. No
If you're
care
not
what
one of
kind of
us,
dialect. No care all them teach them.
no,
We
no.
know
If
them
you're
not
not
from
one of us,
Jamaica.
I'm saying, if you're not one of us, then you would think that they are solely Jamaican. But we know
Oh, okay.
ourselves. We know each
Yeah.
other, right?
But
Yeah.
I just want to clarify, because I remember when they had the opening in Jamaica, they did have Jamaicans in it. Tommy Cohen's daughter, I believe, is in it.
Yeah.
There's a couple
Yeah.
of local Jamaicans that are in it. And you're right, Michelle. It's not a biography because there are probably 6 or 7 biography out there documentary. I think there's one called Marley that sort of traces his lineage, his life, his death. So I think they try to take a different angle to your point
Mhm.
there, Emika.
Mhm.
To show him from what you call it, a movie perspective versus a
Mhm.
documentary. Because there's 50 Bob documentary out there already. So
That we
I
know.
can't wait to watch the movie. But if anyone haven't watched One Night in Miami, where Kinsley played Malcolm X, right?
Mm.
I think that's probably one of the reasons that they picked him, because he did an excellent job portraying
Mhm.
Malcolm X. And from what I have gathered and people who have watched the movie, he's done a really good sort of representation of Bob. But more
Yeah.
important, I think he's embraced the culture in a way that I've not seen, a actor embrace a culture like he has done.
Yeah.
Even
Well,
when you watch,
I think they could have probably give a more. I have a friend that she's from Africa and she went to go see it. She called me on Thursday and she said, she know I'm from Jamaica. And she said, I went to go see the movie and she loved
Yeah.
it. She
Mm.
went by herself and she said she loved it. But she said she was kind of confused because she was saying, to the way the movie was, she was thinking, did Rita cheat on Bob? Rita had her first girl before she met Bob, Sharon.
Mm.
Only
So
because they mentioned in the movie when Bob said to her, "Well, you're talking about the woman that I have here in," because they went to Delaware, and then he said to her, "I know about that boy back home." So then, obviously, you raise question like, "Oh shit, did Rita cheat on Bob?"
That when it's
right.
alleged that is
So
that when it's alleged that she
that's
slapped
what
him?
she was.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes,
I don't know.
outside of the, yeah,
So that's
outside of
what when
the
my friend
museum.
was saying. I don't understand. So I said to her, no, no, Porsche. Rita had a baby, a little girl before she met Bob Marley. Then she was like, oh, well, okay, this explains it,
That's
but
not how Bob said it though, because Bob
right.
was
Well,
in
that's what
Delaware
she's
and she
saying.
was in Jamaica.
One
She was
second. What?
thinking that, well, did Rita cheat on Bob? Why
Sorry.
he's having
Exactly.
all
Wait.
these
Wait. Wait. Wait.
babies
Wait.
and
Wait.
all?
Who's speaking? Emika or
No,
Emika is
This
speaking?
is
Michelle is speaking.
Michelle.
Michelle is speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah. Go ahead.
Michelle. No, I'm saying, she when I explained it to her, no, Rita had a baby before she met Bob, and then she was like, "Oh, well, that explains it." Because I'm like, she cheat on him?
Hmm.
You know?
but this is why I love this, because when you watch movie, you could get a ton from it, right? If you watch it 2 or 3 times. And, one of the things that I actually like with the movie from the clips again is if you just look at Bob, look at a lot of documentary, right? Rita has been seen as sort of his backup singer, right? That's how she's been portrayed for years. If you probably see Cindy Breakspear probably getting more limelight than Rita from that perspective. So I like from what I'm hearing the movie is sort of portraying Rita more from a wife perspective than if you sort of watch a lot of the documentary, you thought Rita was one of his girls. So I like the fact that each of us could watch the movie and get different bits from it, and that's the beauty. It tells you the movie is probably well written.
I'm looking at a picture here, and it shows the family tree, and it was very interesting because
My picture not there, Silburn.
You're not seeing the picture. Are you seeing the picture?
No, I said my picture is not there.
Oh,
What is that? The family tree of all the kids? Silver?
Yeah, it shows Imani Marley. Mom is Cheryl Murray. Sharon Marley, she's adopted. Mom is Rita Marley. Cedella Marley, Mom Rita Marley. Ziggy Marley, Mom Rita Marley. Stephen Marley, Mom Rita Marley. Karen Marley, Mom is Janet Bowen. Robin Marley, mother is Pat Williams. Rowan Marley, mother is Janet Hunt. Stephanie Marley, she's adopted. Mom is Rita Marley. Julian Marley, it is Lucy Powder. Kimani Marley, that's the one with the famous tennis player Anita Bulge. And Marley, Damian Marley, Cindy Breakspear, and Makeda Marley Yvette. So Bob was really.
Yeah,
no, but
seven,
listen, me never knew that
Bob.
Me never knew that Bob have so much pitney. I
No,
didn't even know that.
I think Stephanie was the love child.
Yeah.
No, I think Stephanie was. That's what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never knew that because all I knew.
Ninja Man.
Real bad man.
24.
Oh, really?
23 baby man.
No, but Elephant Man beat them.
So my friend was
Yeah,
like,
man.
God darn it.
Your man so
Bob Marley.
ugly, like Elephant Man.
My friend was like, I love Bob and everything, but my God, couldn't he wear some condom? He just
Well,
he just had
it's too
babies
late
all
now.
over the place.
It's too late now, Michelle.
I'm for real. That's what she was saying. Could he have put on some condoms?
Well, at least he's better than Major Mackerel, because Major Mackerel say he got bun, and him say, "Boy, I'm gonna get bun, stove, everything, oven."
The whole factory.
Him get national bone, him get kind of bony.
Well,
But on a serious note, though, at the same time, the essence of a movie like this. I mean, we recall Charles Heston in the movie Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur never met Charles Heston, and Charles Heston never met Ben-Hur. People act Obama, people at different places. So it's a story which is being trying to convey, isn't it, Emika? That's a story that you saw, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Rita mentioned about the kids. They had a heated discussion, and Rita was like, "What about all them kids that you've got? You bring them for me to look after anyway, you know." So it just showed the type of person that she is as well. But it just seems like from the moment Bob got sick with his toe, because the first time they realized something was wrong with him was when he was playing football, and then his health just took a drastic turn from there. So it felt very quick. Because it started in 76 and in 77, then he started his health started declining. Which I didn't like. I didn't like that because they kept showing the years. So it just felt like really rushed to his death. Yeah. Yeah. It's when you watch it, you can make your own, form your own narrative from it.
well, I was thinking I wasn't going to see it because I saw the musical. And I was not pleased with the cast of the musical, right? I was saying if you're going to play Bob and Bunny in their infant, in their formative years, there's enough qualified Jamaicans in the theater scene, I think, in the UK.
that you
in
could put,
Jamaica.
you could
You could
use.
put, right? But on my drive back from Birmingham this evening, I'm thinking, well, a movie, instead of thinking with your heart, you think with your head because you want to put the best out there,
Mhm.
right? And listen to Emika and reading the reviews. I think that's what they did. Think with their head
Yeah, and
instead
plus
of their heart.
you have to think it's Paramount. Wasn't it Paramount that did it?
So Hollywood.
That's Hollywood, I think. You know what? I didn't even know Bob got shot until that movie. I was so surprised.
Really?
You're born too late, Emika.
I am
Oh
for
Jesus!
real.
One year before Bob did.
Yeah, you're
Really?
born too late.
Because
When the guy came in the house and shot him, I was like, "What the hell is going on here?
because
Yeah.
What's up?"
But Marlon King wrote a book about it
no
a couple years ago. The
Mhm.
7 killings.
Me never know because he was with his manager at the time in the house, and he turned out to be a dirty manager. You know, one of these people that pocket
All
money.
manager, all
Is a black?
managers in music are dirty.
Yeah, man, the manager. Because Bob was
Is
like,
is,
There's
"Listen,
no
it's
clean
not
one.
about money." For
is the
Bob,
what?
it was not
Yeah.
about money. It was about the message, and he said that every time. He was like, "It's about the message. It's not about collecting." And for his thing, he
I,
always wanted to go to Africa.
Mm.
right. And you see, this is where I said that the film,
Mm,
because then let it seem like Bob was about this one love, one heart. Bob was about uniting black people.
yeah.
Okay? Cool, cool ground was my bed last night. Rock was my pillow. We are going to
Yes,
Who?
I'm
bomb
every day.
down church. We are
Mm.
Bob was a
all them
radical.
things there. Huh?
He was a radical in some of his songs.
Exactly.
If you
And
listen
I
to some
think
of
that
his
they
songs,
should
he
have
was an
portrayed,
outright radical.
I think they should have portrayed more of that. That was his personality. Them let it
Well,
seem
maybe you
like
can
it
look out
was
for part
about
two.
this. Huh?
I guess
Maybe
I guess
part
I guess
two.
I guess they'll be doing part two if anything. But
Sid,
Yeah.
can I
Sid,
just ask this question? Sorry, Michelle, finish Michelle, and I
It's
come in.
not me. I think it was what's the name was talking.
Sid. They can
Emeka.
do it like Fast and Furious. Every year something come out now.
Yes, yes.
No,
Well,
that
and I
becomes
like
too
Fast
boring.
and because you know what? I was just listening to I don't know if you guys know Wally British, the girl Wally British.
Yeah,
Oh, she
man.
said it was boring. She
She
said it
said
was
it was boring.
then she fell asleep.
She said she fell
No,
asleep. How much
because
time in it?
if
That, well,
if
it's
people go to a movie,
perspective is
if pe-
it's something that everybody owns.
if certain movies are not for certain people. Now,
Exactly.
some movies really challenge one's intellect.
Thank you.
And if you go to a movie hoping to see gunshots and all them kind of things,
And drama.
it is going to be boring.
Right,
Mm.
right, right,
Right.
Mm.
right, right,
Love that.
right.
Can
Yeah.
I just come in here and just ask about the benefit to Jamaica with a film like this? You know, Ani, what's the benefit to Jamaica with a film like Bob Marley, One Love? Is it directly because we always talk about sometime with all these different developments in Jamaica, sometimes it doesn't filter down to the man in the street, but it filters down to
It
the
doesn't.
macro aspect of Jamaica.
It
How do
doesn't.
you see this benefit in Jamaica?
I think it's going to benefit Jamaica tremendously.
Yeah, man.
As I mentioned before, if you go any corner of the world, you see a Jamaican flag, or you hear about Marley music, and there's no a new generation are now going to be curious about Jamaica. This, I said it before, this little island that our culture has expanded every corner of the world. And
Yeah.
I think it's going to get people more curious around the whole Rastafarian movement, Jamaica. We've had over the last couple of weeks some bad press, in terms of notification, the State Department level. So I think this just eclipsed that bad news and just exposed the culture to a new set of generations. So to me, if this film could get more people to see the positive side of Jamaica and see the power of the culture, for me, it's that. Is the fact that this little island has sort of produced Bob Marley, who, I think they said he's probably one of the highest paid dead artists every year, right?
Yeah.
The fact that 40 years, his music is still relevant today. I think it's only going to benefit Jamaica. And I think you probably see more people going to 9 Miles or to the museum in Kingston. So I think it's only a positive, and hopefully the Jamaican government and the tourism board can capitalize on this to say, hey, here's where Bob Marley was from in 9 Miles. Here's this place, and see, make sure it's monetary benefiting the people around those communities, the 9 Miles, etc. So I think it's nothing but positive.
And if I can ask persons online as well, good evening, Cool Breeze, and thank you guys for coming on to the show. Those on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Remember to like and share. And I like to ask persons online as well. What do you see the benefit of the Bob Marley show to Jamaica? And can I just bring in Emeka? What do you see the benefit to Jamaica and to maybe black people or so with the Bob Marley show?
I mean, in everything, there are pros and cons, as O'Neill said earlier about the negative press that we're getting with America. When was it? Last week, they issued a level 3 traveling ban because of the crime. I mean, crime is everywhere, but I think this will be a pro for us as an island in terms of tourism. Everyone knows that, Jamaica, we have the food, the sun, the people. Despite everything, is somewhere to go. Jamaica is very different to any other islands, which we know. A lot of people say we're very lawless, but at the same time, we're very warm-hearted people. And yeah, just really unique. And I think just good things will come from this, to be honest.
Yeah.
Bob is one of our biggest export. I mean, now we have Usain, but nobody can really touch Bob, right?
Who's you
But I
saying?
don't see this as anything new. I mean, Bob
No,
been
that's what
there.
I'm saying.
Bob is international. So
Bob is international, exactly.
Bob is international. So saying that, I don't, to tell the truth, I don't see what this movie is really going to do for the typical Jamaican people. Then wait till do. People already know about Jamaica.
It's not for them. It's not for them, Michelle. It's more of tourism.
Michelle.
People that were in the movie with me last night. It's for the white people
exactly.
who have never been there. It's for the non-Jamaicans who are looking at Jamaica with an admiration eye. Like, okay, they've heard of the island. They've heard good things. Do you know what I mean? Every corner of the world. I went to China and Thailand last year to Phuket. And on the beach, there was a Jamaican restaurant. I could not believe my eyes.
Yeah, we're all over the world.
The same beach where the tsunami happened back in 2006. I was on that beach and I went up and spoke to the guy. He's married to a Thai woman. The kids running around, obviously they're Blasian or whatever they are. But it was so amazing to see a flag, Jamaican flag in Southeast Asia. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So it just shows you that we are everywhere.
Well, our saying is we lick about with Talawa, right? We're all over the world.
And it doesn't
let's
matter
hear
where we go.
Herbert.
We still represent. We still represent. You could have had another flag there.
Yeah. Let's hear Herbert. Herbert, is it?
It goes to show that Jamaica has a good tourism product.
Oh yeah.
Right, which has now been elevated to a higher level.
Yeah, of course.
However, if we as Jamaicans do not take care of what we have and keep on taking it for granted and becoming complacent, we are going to lose it. And we can see where travel advisories over the years, even though they have been issued by UK, US, Canada. It's like in the prohibition era where in the US they try to get people not to use drugs, and the more they try, the more people buy it.
The more they prohibit.
Yeah.
And
don't do
so it goes to show that Jamaica has a product which is world class, Blue Mountain coffee, Bob reggae music, and if Jamaicans don't,
and
if Jamaicans don't,
we don't want Blue Mountain coffee no more. So
and not in Jamaica, Silburn.
Yeah, but Michelle, if we don't want our own coffee, what else are we gonna have?
Right?
I'm saying that we sell that out. We don't own that no more.
Yeah, that's fine, but it still says product of Jamaica though. The thing with Jamaica, people. We don't know how to utilize what we
Yeah.
have. And so when the Chinese and the Indians come in and they start buying and showing us that, you guys have a gold mine here,
You
we
know,
get
I went to
upset.
Starbucks in Jamaica last
Yeah,
year.
yeah, they come and
We
they
get
do that
upset.
because they get breaks, so them can't come in and do it. But the typical Jamaicans that tries to do it, them give them a hard time to
Yeah.
even
All right.
do that.
Okay, let's stop
I
for a
went.
second. Let's stop for a second. Cool Breeze, someone on TikTok says the benefits are reggae music. The downside is the corruption in high places. I'll ask him to explain that bit about corruption in high places in regards to Bob Marley. New York City,
Silver.
New York. Wait, one second. I got back to you.
Government.
New York City said positive benefits to Jamaica. Let's not forget the message in the music. It will bring economic benefits to Jamaica. Keep the collective unity of African liberty alive. The mindset should be developed. How can we put our mind together to let others benefit local community? After Herbert finish, I'm gonna go about what about the benefit to the Afro Jamaica, I mean Afro world. Does it pull that together? Herbert, go first. Yeah.
Corruption in high places. You ask a question.
Yeah, somebody
Even
yeah,
Stevie Wonder can see
Mm-mm.
yes,
that the corruption is high in Jamaica,
Exactly.
really.
right? So it is for the Jamaican government, whatever administration it is,
Mm,
try and put a stop to all the back doors that are opening and
as a
let people
result.
do things legitimately,
Mm,
Exactly,
right?
Herbert. Yes.
Corruption is hurting the GDP. And with the GDP going down, employment will go down. We need to look at that angle and stop talk about it's happening in other people's. Let's not look into other people's backyard. Look over in
Stop
other
watch other
people's
people
fences.
backyard and watch your own.
Look at what we can do to fix the corruption in Jamaica.
Someone said to me earlier today, when I posted a video, and they said the diaspora is waking up to lots of issues regarding integrity, regarding the reform, regarding the constitutional reform, and then the person said, the diaspora is waking up is one thing, but he said we are not in a way promoting the positives about Jamaica. Motivational Miller said that we're not promoting the positives about Jamaica. Do you think that we are promoting, or from the diaspora? Or right now, none of us are in Jamaica. I just realized. Herbert, you're in the UK. I'm in the UK. O'Neill in the States. Emeka is in the UK, and Michelle is in the States. Are we doing good, Jamaicans overseas, in promoting and highlighting the positives what are happening in Jamaica?
Right now, yes,
Yes,
because we're here talking live. We're not hiding behind a camera.
yes,
We're not distorting our voices. We're
mm,
here presenting ourselves live
yes.
so we can talk about issues that are affecting Jamaica and affecting us overseas. So if someone can see the positive in that,
Mm.
then they need to go somewhere where they won't be affected by these noise that we're making.
Will and come again. Um,
Yeah.
let me go to Emika. Are we doing enough in promoting the positives in Jamaica?
Well, I think for me, I'm doing what I can do. Um,
Mm.
I don't think we do enough. And it goes back to your one of your project years ago, Sid, your FFBJ,
Yeah, facilitators for Better Jamaica. Yes.
right? Which was like maybe how long ago was that? More than 10 years.
Mm.
When
Mm.
we were going around, educating people about the boycotting of using, what was it, British Airways?
British Airways and Virgin, because they were charging too much for the APD and all those things. And we're trying to get people together to really,
Yeah, and
boycott
we were
and
walking
create
the
order.
streets. We were
Yes.
literally walking the streets in Brixton and stuff like that. But in doing so, it shows as well, like how Jamaican people are they're not even aware of a lot of the things that goes on back home. I mean, they have their own problems here, but we should always try to stay in touch with whatever goes on back home. So I'm
Mm.
trying to do my bit with non-Jamaicans to promote the island. and just say, go, it's a fun place to be. Because, when it comes to Jamaican, sometimes it can be very combative. And
Yeah.
I'm just not that person. So I'm doing my bit.
I think,
Anil?
yeah. So sort of the question around the movie, I think evident that the movie is going to benefit a lot of folks. I heard, I just came back from Jamaica. You can't get tickets at Carib for the next couple of weeks. So that's benefiting a lot of folks, right? When have we seen Carib sold out multiple months in advance, right? That will trickle down because the peanut guy, the guy who's selling the pan chicken, they're all going to benefit. So I think there's some economic benefit to the people.
Lots of footfall, yeah.
You're right. So, and you're going to have movie theater in Montego Bay and other places. The interesting thing, and this is where I think I was in the American Airlines lounge 2 days ago, and they had a Jamaican jerk soup, right? A Jamaican jerk soup. I'm like, I've never, but it tastes good. But the fact that in Chicago, in the lounge, you have a Jamaican jerk soup, right? And people were coming in and doing it. So I think it benefits worldwide. I think the corruption is a separate issue. And the thing that I always get ticked off about is we never understand where we're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
If you just go back and look at, I think it was 2009, 2010, if you just look at the Transparency Index, which measures corruption in country, Jamaica was almost 100 out of 180. Ended in 2023, I think Jamaica is 68 or 69, right?
Mm.
That is progress, right? As they say, Rome was not built overnight. And sometimes we have these discussions and we make it seem as if, you should turn off a switch and everything is fine. Just remember, there has been issues in the Jamaican society for years.
Yeah.
And you're seeing progress, right? Progress is not built overnight. And I think that's what we don't see. I was in Jamaica again. I was able to drive from Kingston to Mandeville in less than an hour.
Mm.
Right? Just think about that. From Kingston to Mandeville in less than an hour. You could now go to Ocherius from Kingston in about an hour 10. Right? That's progress. And I think sometimes we don't highlight it. For me, if people come in my office, there's a big Jamaican flag. When I'm on Zoom, there's a big Jamaican flag. I'm one of the person who said, like, I'm not ashamed to be a Jamaican.
Yes.
Because as I said, Jamaican born, American built. But as they say, nowhere no better than you, right? And I go there as much as I can. And when my colleagues are looking for places to go, I said, here's Jamaica, right? I have colleagues.
Listen in Frankfield.
So every chance we get, we should. There's a segment of our diaspora that, you'll hear them say, "Well, I'm not going to Jamaica because there's too much crime." I'm like, "When was the last time you've been to Jamaica?" Oh, 20 years ago. I said, then you don't stop commenting because, you could go into places in Brooklyn and you could go places in different cities and you get bashed in the head, right? Walking on the street. So I just say we just have to figure out how to amplify the positivity from Jamaica. The interesting thing we're talking about the Bob Marley movie, but we talk about one love, and if you talk about to anyone, they don't hear the rest of the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because it says one love, hear the children crying, right? Sometimes we forget that part of the lyrics and what Bob and the message he was trying to give us. And I think sometimes we forget, I say where we come from, right? And we forget that, we are our country. We were talking about it. The fact that there's not a part in the world you don't go and you don't see a Jamaica. I was in Italy, in Brescia. Amika talked about, there was a Jamaican restaurant there. Right? So everywhere you go, people embrace Jamaica more than we do. You go to Sweden,
Exactly.
and you go to the Reggae Song Festival, there's hundreds of thousands of people, Rastafarian, right? But sometimes we don't embrace our own culture.
Yeah.
We rather embrace culture from somewhere else. right?
Yeah.
So
True.
I think it's going to continue to benefit in a positive way. I think the man on the ground is going to benefit because the fact, as I said before, Carib is sold out for the next month and a half. Will benefit a
You
lot.
can set up business on it.
Yes. That's very interesting there. The footfall, because I believe it will, it will send a message. But what about for the black, for Africa, for the Afrocentric aspect of things? Do you see that putting coming together? 'Cause Bob Marley was about emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. He followed Marcus Garvey teaching as well. Michelle, if Michelle is there.
Michelle is gone. But
Yeah.
No,
I
but in the
think
movie,
Sorry, Emeka, you gonna speak to that? Yeah.
no, go ahead, Herbert.
yeah, I
Herbert.
think as it relates to Africa being a benefactor, um, the likelihood of it happening is very is possible
Mm,
because he interacted a lot with African heads of state, and in and by so doing, it went straight down to the grassroots people.
yes.
So I
Yes.
think Africans more than anybody else um, will be thinking, well, that's one of us that has made it onto the world stage where everybody is recognizing, and to see that Bob Marley was at the forefront of the Rastafari movement,
Mm,
I mean, they did
right, which
highlight
has
in the
transcended
movie.
across the world.
Yeah, they did highlight in the movie. I mean, he kept saying he wanted to go to Africa to perform, which is how the corruption came about with his manager, his then manager. And Haile Selassie was obviously, he kept dreaming of him on a horse, when he was a boy. So in the end, obviously, he did go to Africa and perform after the peace rally in Kingston. But yeah, I think it will definitely benefit Africa. They didn't show much of it, just the concert bit.
Yeah,
But yeah, at least they tie that in with us.
yeah. I don't know. I sort of I don't know. I can't think of from an opera how it benefit. I think I look at it this way. There's always a love-hate relationship between our Jamaican cultures and our African cultures, right? Obviously, Bob Marley, I think it was Zimbabwe in
Yeah.
1979.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
uh-huh.
right. Um, there's a big debate around Afrobeat, right? Depending on who you talk to. You know, some people would say it's a derivative of reggae, which I agree with. But I don't see the clear alignment to how sort of the movie benefit. The one thing that comes to mind, I would say, is that if Bob was here today, he would have been disappointed about the plight of Africa, right? I think
Mm,
that's one thing I would say, that if you just look at the fact that Jamaicans were the first to highlight the struggles of apartheid,
mm,
and Bob was the message in his songs. And I think if Bob was here today, I think he would be rather disappointed about the continent with the richest resources and the issues they're having. So the only thing I could think of is that people might look within and say, wow, 40 years ago, Bob was singing about upliftment of African people. And we're still there, and we still see the struggle in Africa today. So that's the only thing I could think of. But I don't see the direct benefit from an Afro sort of cultural. I don't see it in that sense.
that's interesting there. That's interesting because
Mm.
I saw a comment which was put by Yard Yard City there, and what he said was moving to Africa is happening at the grassroots in New Dawn, and he also said that it's amusing for me to see people crowing over Bob Marley when they would hardly give a Rasta man the time of the day. You know, I
I
think
agree
that's
with
what
him.
you said earlier, Herbert, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree with him because when I was in police training school in the 90s, every scenario that we got, the Rastaman was a criminal.
Mm,
Every scenario. He
I
was
don't,
never the peacemaker.
yeah, I don't
And to
know.
see, hold on, Neil, and to see today, no, mainstream Christians and everybody's jumping on this bandwagon, Bob Marley, Bob Marley, Bob Marley, when they wouldn't give him the time of day. Bob Marley made a statement that if you're going to be rich as a Rasta, make sure you have your money first before you turn Rasta, because you will suffer.
Yeah.
That's
I,
true.
I think historically, because as someone who have an uncle who was a Rastafarian,
Well, back then,
and
yeah.
you're right. I think you could say yes, right? And as someone who went to high school back in Jamaica with a ton of Rastafarian, before my time, they would not be allowed to go into school where they're here. Yes, there has been the Rastafarian, plight, but now there's a more adoption. The fact that you see Mike Tyson, and you could argue he went there for different reasons, was highlighting the Rastafari and the Nyabingi traditions up in the hill of St. Andrew. And you see more and more celebrities are taking treks. You see Damon Crawford, who is, a member of parliament, former member of parliament. You see Stanford, the lawyer. You're seeing more people that are embracing Rastafarian today. And, I mentioned before, you go to certain countries like Sweden, Switzerland, you see more Rastafarian than anything else, right? And that's a direct result. So I would say, yes, historical, there has been some. And I can tell you, my uncle, to your point, they used to, when he goes out, the police used to cut his hair.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Up until 5 years ago,
yeah.
that young girl in Fort Park that was taken to the police station and dehumanized by the woman corporal who cut her hair.
Yeah. So
Which
so
the
I think there's
DPP said she
pockets.
didn't say anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I think there's pockets, but I think you've seen progress, right? The fact that you have a Damon Crawford who still have his dreads and his locks.
No, he will tell you that he's not a Rasta, he just loved the hairstyle.
All right, I'm gonna move on from to the next segment now. Emeka, I want to thank you. You I put your what's cracking seafood boil takeaway only.
So I'm gonna come.
Are those details correct, Emeka? Are those
Yes,
details?
O'Neill, I can't wait for you to have one, right?
Yeah, I'll come. And I'll.
So
I'll
make a
let
minute
you know.
seafood to happen.
I know, but O'Neill is coming up from across the pond, so you're always here. You order one tonight, Herbert?
No, passing Christine Pitney first.
Watch ya.
You see, Herbert want tea somebody.
No.
You want tea somebody.
But I thought you
It's
said
not
you're
no
waiting for the
TSM bar.
restaurant to open.
Let me taste a
Huh?
piece.
I thought you said you're waiting for the restaurant to open.
Yes, so you can come and say you have a 5-course meal. What happened with that?
You want tea
But may I
somebody.
deliver O'Neill one to where I must stay?
Yes. Well, Emeka, listen, I want to thank you for your contribution and leave let these guys come and find the food, and thank you so much for giving us an insight, because I was thinking to myself, it don't make sense to talk about a show which I've never been to, so you're being the face of the show tonight.
Yes, exactly.
Well, thank you. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night.
I'll
Have a good
All
night.
right, you too. All
come and
right,
see
you
you
guys.
soon.
All right, for sure. Take care.
All right, cool.
All right, cheers. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for Emeka right there, and Michelle, you're back there. I've got Mr. Yue Hutchinson, and he's from one of I think he's there. Yes, are you there?
He's gonna come on camera.
I think he was there a second ago. But I think what I want to talk about now, because there's going to be another election debate which is going to be taking place in Jamaica, and I just got some update a while ago. Say people from the UIC demonstrating that they have not been able to be a part of it. But before I do that, let me just bring in Kadian and ask her until Uj comes in. Kadian, how are you? What have you watched the Bob Marley film?
No, I haven't watched it as yet.
Okay. And you're gonna definitely take it in, isn't it?
Yeah, I am. I'm planning to go and watch it in the theaters. I'm not gonna get the bootleg.
The what? The bootleg. What that? What's the bootleg?
Bootleg
Oh,
meaning-
you mean the Chinese guy that's going around and
You don't know what a bootleg is?
Yeah.
because I haven't seen it for a long time, because nobody's using CDs anymore as before.
No, not CDs. You can get any movie online nowadays. You
Oh, boy.
just, once you know a good site, you go on it and you find the movies.
Oh, is that what you do? Sorry, not that's what you do. That's what happens. Yeah.
Sound like someone is doing that all the time.
Okay. Well, Kaden, listen. You're going to stay in for the political section here because I got Uj Hutchinson. How are you, Mr. Hutchinson? Are you good?
Greetings, Mr. Sidiel. Greetings. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Greetings. Well, listen. Well, you're the only candidate we have here from the local government election, so we're all gonna ask you questions tonight from the diaspora perspective. You know,
No problem.
yeah. And tell us. Thank you for coming in tonight, and thank you for giving up your time, and the fact that you're one of those sole independent candidates in this local government election. And I've got O'Neill, who is here from the States, myself from the UK, Herbert here from the UK, Cadian from the States, Michelle from the States as well. So really and truly, we're all diasporians. You know, tell us about your party or your vision, if anything. What's sell us the vision.
All right. So currently, I am the vice president of a a prospective new political movement
Yeah.
called Diplomatic Democratic Party.
Yes.
It was formed last year, December. At least, well, the process of creating this party started last December.
Mm.
A former member of the UIC who had discontinued membership from that party founded this one, right? And the party was founded on the principle of good governance, which we know are integrity, accountability, transparency, inclusivity, all of these tenets of good governance. That is really the foundational pillars of the Diplomatic Democratic Party,
Yeah.
right? We believe in the unity of all Jamaicans at home and abroad to deal with our issue collectively, right? Pulling our resources together, whether financially, physically, otherwise, to address our issues, right? We believe in diversity of thought, as the principle of democracy. We really believe in the principles of democracy.
Mm. That's interesting. And are you the only candidate from the Democratic Party?
No, there are two others. The
There's two others.
president and the general secretary is also candidates in the local government election.
Mm.
Along,
So,
O'Neill, please.
So, Hujay, can you just tell us what area you're running?
all right. So the division that I'm representing currently, it's the Lawrence Tavern division. It's a I would say it's a section of the parish of St. Andrew in the West Rural constituency, West St. Andrew constituency.
So humble people are. Why should someone? Obviously, you mentioned this is a new party formed by someone from a former member of UIC. So if you're in Lawrence Tavern, which is a place I know pretty well, why should someone vote for you?
All right. So again, I'm just one person. I'm just one person. I lived all my life in that area. I'm familiar with a lot of persons. A lot of persons are familiar with me. Right through school, even starting my professional career, a lot of persons know me from that area, right? So I think it is fitting for somebody who is familiar with the struggles, the history of the area, to represent the area. That is something that I believe in. I don't believe in political representative not residing in the area that they are representing, because they will not be able to relate to the history, the historical struggles of the people, and so they will not be able to properly address these issues, because it's not something that they are exposed on a daily basis. So this is why I really have gone into the race, because I'm from the area. I can relate to the struggles of the people, right? I'm living there. I know the struggles. I feel the struggles. And so I believe it is best for, somebody from the area to really step forth and properly represent the people, and that is what I'm doing.
So I'll just ask a quick follow-up. So you mentioned you're from the area, you're local, you understand the issues, but what is it that you're going to do? So say, for example, UJ is elected by the people. What is it that UJ is going to do for the people to solve the issue? What specific are you going to do? Right? You're mentioning that from the area got that part, but what is it specific you're going to do? So say O'Neill is new, right?
Mhm.
I live in Lawrence Tavern. You're trying to convince me to vote for you, right? What is it that you're going to do different for the people of Lawrence Tavern?
Okay, good question. All right, so first thing first, if I'm elected, I will have to create a community-based team, a team that will help me to properly manage the. I'll have to create an organization or a management team to properly cater for every, or at most, well, at least most areas in the division, right? I will then have to have meetings with a lot of, because change also comes from a financial support. Currently, I'm not getting any funding, right? All my campaign is pretty much funded by myself, right?
Really?
Yes. So,
Question.
yes, go ahead.
Question.
Herbert has a question. How comes? Yeah.
You said if you're elected, you
Mhm.
will create a team. Don't you think you're running the race from behind? Because I think in your infancy stage, you should have already had a team to lay the groundwork for you. How do you intend to run a successful campaign without having an effective team around you if there's not one?
Or when I say team, I do have the support of the party that I am representing. I do have the support, right? But when I say team, I mean community-based team, right? So each community, I would have to then assist to develop a team that can really provide information up and down the ladder of management, right? To ensure that we are capturing as much issues as possible, right? And then sourcing and allocating resources to deal with these issues. When I say team, I don't mean I don't have a team. I mean we will have to engage in a community centered approach to addressing this. So most people from the division would have to come on board, and we'll have to then have community groups that we can really get information from, and then prioritize the issues based on resources and based on our efforts to address them. So that to clarify.
Can I just ask? Because in order for one to be running and to be stepping up to the front and to put yourself forward, is it that you have no confidence in the present political system or the political parties? Because one could say you could have joined one of the JLP or the PNP, the established, but you're gonna go against the turf now. You're going against the grain. What is that driving factor, or should I say, what is that ideology? Because there's always an ideology that drives someone, isn't it, Uj?
That's correct. And you're so right. A lot of persons have reached out to me. Why don't join the People's National Party or the Jamaica Labour Party? But I'm saying the history is indicative, right? And I somebody will have to probably show me in the future, but based on history, right? I'm not seeing where the political system in Jamaica is catering for the needs of the people at local, right? At the local level. Issues are not being addressed at the local level. They always try to do things from maybe in the middle or from the top, but things are not addressed at the local level. And since my introduction to the race, I really understand that the local level is really an important level of any organization, anything you're doing. The grassroots, the foundation is very, very important, right? And so I'm not seeing where the two major political parties have over the years cater for things at the local level, because we have so many roads in the division, in the districts, that for years have gone unfixed, right? We have communities that are without water for years. I'm talking decades, right, without water, right? But yet still we have the budget read every year as to the amount of money the government plan to spend, right? And things are still unaddressed year after year, right? So I've lost all confidence in the political system in Jamaica. And so that's why I decided to go independent, because I now realize, and the numbers are there to prove as well, that a lot of persons are shying away from the two political parties. We are trying to create now an avenue for the rest of the Jamaican people who have had enough to be a part of on board, and let us deal with the issues.
Can I just ask what either Michelle or Kim, any question you have for and see Mr. Uj as a point of reference for others. Ask him any question that you want to ask, please. He said he's ready for hard question. Don't ask him any easy question.
Let me ask you.
Okay. Go. Okay, I wanted Kim to ask a question. Bring Kim or Michelle, one of the ladies.
Okay. Hi. I didn't get your name.
Uj.
Or Huji.
Gucci. Okay. I wanted to know, you said that you're doing your party is independent, so it's not being funded. How are you planning to source your revenue to build a party? Because everything that we do in this world requires money. So how do you plan on funding your party?
All right. So currently, the National Executive Council of the party or the movement have decided to not accept any funding as of yet, because we are not fully registered. We are still going through the registration process according to the Electoral Commission. So we're still going through the registration process. So once that process has been completed, then we will establish a bank account for the party, so that we can then properly account for our finances. Right, we don't want it to be a case where monies are going into personal bank accounts for the business of the party. So we have decided not to take any donation, to source any funding as yet, until the party is properly registered. And we are looking at, say, after the local government election into March, the party will be properly registered. For now, we are. For this campaign, we are getting assistance, but we are getting the assistance in kind. So anybody who wants to support us, if it is that they want to donate some shirts, they then have those shirts purchased, or we can provide them with the information of the company that is responsible for providing those shirts, and then they can send the money directly to that company, and then we just collect the goods. So that is pretty much how we're operating right now.
Sorry, 1 second. Can I put your number up for people can contact you? Is
sure.
That number that I have for you? Can I do that?
Sure.
If you want to support, and then I want Herbert to go first.
Hold on. So
sorry,
I just want to do a quick follow up to the question.
Sorry.
So you're not running, because you just mentioned that the registration is still going through, right? And the local government election is the 24th or 25th. So you're not 26, right? So you're not expecting to run for this local government. Is that not accurate?
No, I am running for the local government election, but I'm running as an independent candidate, right?
Okay, thanks for clarifying. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay.
So you're running as an independent.
That was my question.
Right. Okay.
So I'm running
thanks for clarifying that.
Go on it.
Go ahead, Sylvan. That was my question.
So just
okay. That was your.
And just to wrap up Kim's question with regards to funding, if elected, again, I would have to. It has to be a partnership approach. So I would definitely will have to reach out to business operators in the division, have discussion with them and see how best they can assist to fund certain projects for the division, right? And we'll just pull our resources together and deal with it until there's a proper system in place. Because even right now, there's no when it comes down to the budget or the constituency fund, there is no proper structure as to how that money is used at the local level. The member of parliaments, they have access to this funding. However, there's some deprivation of these funds at the local level. So until there's a proper system in place to allocate funds at the local level, then we're going to have this problem. So for now, I'm just really relying on the partnership of the people, right, alongside myself, to identify certain things and see how best we can, help ourselves. Community self-government is really, really important. And that is also one of the things that I really, endorse, community self-government.
So UJ,
So the
you're
question,
from
go on, O'Neill.
you're
Go on,
from
O'Neill.
Lawrence Tavern, right?
Mhm.
You're running as an independent. Uh,
Mhm.
And you mentioned, obviously there's funding. Can you talk about how is it, sorry, how is it that the local residents are embracing you? Can you tell us, are they saying, yes, UJ, we want you to be our local representative? How is that embracing
Mhm.
how are you experiencing that?
Yeah, well, fortunately, they are embracing me. In many areas that I go, as I told you before, I'm well known in the area, right? So when persons saw my flyer and my poster, social media and all that, persons start reaching out and saying they are willing to support because they know my background, they know what I stand for. I've been an advocate for change and for good governance for a very long time.
Mhm.
So stepping to the forefront now, I'm really getting the traction. It's really surprising of how many persons, even persons who have supported the two other major political parties over the years, are saying, well, they have stopped voting, but they are going to be voting for me. So it's really good to hear that from some of them, to be really honest.
Yeah.
I tell you what I like. I like the fact that Jamaicans are stepping up to the plate and putting themselves forward as candidates to represent the people, because I do believe that there is a clear need for alternative voices, not just the same typical voices. One is not saying that um, the PNP is not good. One is not saying the PNP bad. One is not saying the JLP good or bad. But the fact that you have other persons like yourself believing that the people can support you and believing also that you can make a difference. God, that is it, isn't it? You believe that you can make a difference for Jamaica, isn't it, bro?
Most definitely.
Yeah. And what fundamental? I'm going to ask, what fundamental difference you think you can make for Jamaica? Now we're talking about the local government election, but I've seen it before, and you weren't talking about the local government. You're talking about other bigger issues as well on a national level. What is your take on the national level at the same time?
All right. So, all right. Personally, I'm the kind of person I really heavily. I'm a people's person.
Mm,
I I rarely want to take on a task by myself. If
mm,
needs, will do it. But I'm really a people-centered kind of person. I love to create a team to do things and to do it properly. Right. I don't rely solely on my knowledge because somebody might know something more than myself. So
mm,
it's really to get the best solution for the issue. That's the kind of person I am, right? And I believe that leaders should be like this, right? There might be times when you have to take a more authoritarian kind of approach to certain things, right? But for the most part, when you have a national issue, you have to include the people at a national level, right? So that you
mm,
can properly deal with these issues, right? So nationally, there are a lot of things not going right? But again, these issues are rooted at the grassroots level, right? They start from the local level, right?
yeah.
And made their way, saturating the country. And so if we can address things at the local level, in which that is where I'm really focusing on, if we can address things at the local level, then we will be good at a national level.
Okay. Well, I think without a doubt that with yourself putting yourself forward, there's this document which Jamaica have, which is called Vision 2030, and it's a document which is saying Jamaica is to be a fully developed country by 2030. And when I read that document, and when I discussed it with some guys many years ago, we were saying that there's no need for any separate manifestos from JLP or PNP or any other party if everybody's working in tangent with this document, which is called Vision 2030. What's your take on Vision 2030? Do you believe Jamaica is on the road, the pathway to Vision 2030?
Not necessarily. We have a good way to go to achieving that Vision 2030, and 2030 is just 6 or less than 6 years away, right? So we have a good journey to go before we can achieve that. We're talking about making Jamaica fit to raise family, to do business.
Yeah.
I don't see where we're going to be able to achieve that by 2030.
So let me ask you a follow up. So you sort of saw like the economic news coming out of Jamaica, right? Where Jamaica has one of the highest credit ratings from Moody's. Debt to GDP ratio has fallen. Say you're the prime minister for a day. How would you build on top of that macro level sort of improvement to drive the micro piece that you're talking about at the local level?
All right, so I'm not. I don't think I understand the question again. Can you repeat that?
So Jamaica has really good credit ratings, right? Which means you could borrow a cheaper interest rate, right? The debt to GDP ratio has fallen, which means for every dollar that you take in the treasury, if it's 70%, you have 30 cents you could go invest. Obviously, those are improvement, right, over the last 20 years. What I'm asking, that's at the macro level. So you're talking about things in Laver and Stafford. How would you take that positive macro level economics and then flow it down to the people in Laver and Stafford?
All right, so another piece to the development, right, would be we would have to create some robust production in the Laver and Stafford area. I was thinking along the lines of farming, right? Because I mean, economically, if you're not generating income, or if you're not providing services to generate income, then you're going to have challenges, right? Because as Kim said, a lot of things in the world you have to deal with money, right? So at the local level, I am planning to do some research as to how best we can implement and initiate a farming project for that division, so that we can at least have some goods and services, right, assisting with financial resources at the local level.
Okay.
And again, that would give some some leeway for greater accomplishments.
Okay.
Apart from
Sorry, I was going to ask. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Finish on it. Yeah.
No, I was just going to ask, in Laver and Stavrons, what's the majority of vocation for the people? Is it farming?
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing it clearly.
So in Laver and Stavron, is it farming? Is it mostly farmers, or it's a mix of farming and other things? What's if I live in Laver and Stavron and the local folks, what majority of the folks do there? Are they farmers?
Yeah, so it's a rural division. So yeah, there's quite a bit of farming that takes place. Other businesses are there as well, like wholesale and retail stores, etc. But yeah, so there's a mixture going on there. But it's a rural division, so there are a lot of unoccupied lands, um, farming of animals and crops. So there are lands available for that purpose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. If anybody has any other question, then I'll ask UJ to give us his last. You don't know when
No,
you have these debates.
my
Yeah.
my last question to you
Yeah.
is, I know you get into politics for the betterment of Jamaica, or your division, but what what motivated you to make that step?
All right. So one of the motivating factor is that the current councillor is a JLP councillor. Is a I don't want to, well, assessing his actions over the years. I'm seeing where there are a lot of areas of opportunity for him, right? And I think it is because of the whole, you know, bare minimum standard that we have accepted as a people from these political representatives. You
Mm,
know, the division operates in a very, not so good way. So I have decided as a youngster, because even in my current capacity, it is one of my responsibility in my job. I manage people. I'm a manager at my job. So I manage people.
mm,
I have to look at their areas of opportunities, their areas of strengths,
mm,
and commend them on the things that they're doing well, the areas that they're not doing so well in. I will have to, have discussions with them, find out why things are not going according to plan, and so on and so forth. So my job has impacted the way in which I approach things, and that is the same mindset that I really want to implement in the division that I'm representing. The
mm,
things that are good, we continue to do so, but the things that needs improvement, we have to partner our way to getting these things done. But I'm not seeing the level of partnership between the current political representative and the people or the constituent. I'm not seeing that connection. I'm not seeing the team effort. I'm not seeing the communication. I'm not seeing the team meeting, not team meeting. I'm not seeing the community meetings, the town hall meetings. I'm not seeing these things. There's a disconnect. And only when election is coming near or drawing near, they come around and they talk. But after that, they are absent.
So
Right. So
as Herbert would say, that is a landlord factor where they're coming now to collect the remnants or the payments. I mean, so like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. When you say they come pull a blade of grass and wash on the wall to show us why you do some work, pay your bill.
Well, listen. Bob Marley said. Somebody said. Bob Marley said, "Never let a politician grant you a favor. They'll always want to control you forever." What's your take on that? Would you grant people a favor?
no,
Not,
And
not even a shake hand with something in your palm.
no. That I told the people in my division that, listen to me. I don't have any. I will not. It's not that I can't, but I will not be handing out any money, anything of this sort, because it is illegal. It is illegal. It goes against the
True.
Constitution. Right? I am here to address the issues in the community, not to give out money. I'm not an ATM, right? So we need our roads to be fixed. Let's focus on that. If I give you money, then just like the other political parties, they have no obligations to do good by you because they have purchased your vote, right? And
yeah,
that is what they have been doing. They purchase your vote and they hold you in this oppressive kind of state. But we need to now shift away from that. We have issues to address. The only way we can do that is to get the best representation possible so that we can have these issues addressed.
someone just said a while ago for wrap up. This man sounds like a genuine soul, the very best to you. And this is a person who is very critical of the government in Jamaica. He said that lots of corruption or so. Listen, unless anybody else want to say anything, Miss Cadian, any last word? Are you good? And then I can let Mr. Hutchinson go. Yeah.
I just want to wish you all the best in your political endeavors. And I hope you fulfill whatever promises you're making, because a lot of times you might find that politicians don't fulfill the promises they make to the people. So that's what I want to leave you with.
Mm.
And I
Anil?
really, yeah.
And all the best in your endeavors, boss.
Yeah. And
Good luck.
Anil, anything last word, Anil? Are you good?
Good luck on your campaign, and hopefully you get a positive outcome.
Yes. Well, as Michelle says, love your energy, young man. Hoping you for all the success and all the best. New York City says, and ladies and gentlemen, might as well, as I'm saying, I got Mr. UJ, Democratic Party, and his telephone number is there, 876-574-2117. It's running there. You can contribute and as much as possible, because I've spoken to a couple of candidates, and one of the things that they keep saying a lot is the need for resources, the need for advertisement, and also, so we all know that you guys are climbing a steep hill, but I believe with the level of perseverance and keep persevering, this is not just one election. You can't just run this election whether you lose or not. You got to keep going. But also, one more thing as well. What I like to charge each person is to follow through with the 7 principles and the code of conduct of public life. And I'm saying Jamaicans need to hold their governmental candidates, their local government candidates, objectivity, leadership, integrity, selflessness, honesty, openness. Did I get them all? I think I got them all there. Those are the key things that I'll encourage yourself to do, and let it be a chain around the neck, a positive chain around the neck, Mr. Hutchinson.
Most definitely.
All right. Thank you very much, and all the best, sir. Any last word? Just before, any last word?
So just to say that this race doesn't end on the 26th of February, because I've told my people already that even with win, lose or draw, the race continues, the work continues. I will have to still utilize whatever resources I have, seek assistance from others just to get things done, because we can't stop. If we're building a house, we have to continue until the house is done. We start from foundation, then we come up to the walls, to the level, right? We start making things and so on and so forth until the house is complete. So I'm not planning to stop, irrespective of the outcome on the 26th of this month. So yeah, until the community, the division is at the level where we say yes, we feel comfortable, or people standard of living has improved, or youths are empowered through education and through skill development, so on and so forth, right? Making positive contribution and positive choices. Yeah, we won't settle until these things are achieved.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that Uj didn't do, I saw him first, was you're online on TikTok, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, and which other place you're on?
Well, mostly TikTok.
TikTok. And what's your Action? Is it Action Man?
Action Now JA.
Action Now J. Check him on TikTok as well. He speaks a lot on different issues, and I must say that he did not come here promoting himself and promoting that platform. I'm the one who brought it up as well. I'm the one who brought up the bit about supporting him and putting his number there. He didn't have that, and I actually reached out to him because I've seen a few guys, and I said, from the diaspora perspective, we need to support our young men in stepping up to the plate. So, sir, much blessings to you. Peace out. And thank you very much, Uj. We talk. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Guys, what do you think about that there for a second? Just with Mr. Hutchinson. I believe it's a freshness, isn't it?
It's refreshing to hear. Someone hoping to get into politics for the right reasons, and not with a fat cat approach.
Mm.
I love his energy. But as he was talking, there's one thing that I think is needed is sort of what I call political training, right?
Yeah.
Because, for you to persuade a community, you have to tell them the issues and how you're going to fix it.
Mm.
So I think someone talked about what are the pressing issues.
Yeah.
And if he's listening, what I would do is amp up the talking points around here are the 5 things that are issues in Laverne road, access, etc. And then talk about how he's going to fix it.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing with candidates is that if you're known in that community, it's a hand to hand combat. You got to go door to door. You got to go sell your point of view to these people, and you have to be convincing enough that when
Yes.
they go vote, they're going to check that box for you because you have laid out sort of, we call it manifesto. You've laid out your plan, and if you are able to articulate that over and over, that this is where you're going to get the stickiness. But I love his energy. I love where he's coming from. But I would suggest for him amplify a little bit more on how he would actually fix the issues because I think that will sell. Because this, he said it. Most of the people are disenfranchised from both political parties because they come in and talk, but they never do anything. And I actually wanted to ask him a question around, what are some of the things that you're doing now to help this citizen alive and stubborn? So, those are some of the things I think he could improve with. But I love his energy. I love the fact that he's stepping into the alligator nest, as they would say, and putting himself out there.
And Kadian?
Yeah, I do. I think it's refreshing just to hear him talk about his, but I didn't get to ask him if it's only Lawrence Tavern he's gonna be focusing on, because I was wondering if it was just his community or if it's the wider Jamaica. I didn't get to ask him. I forgot to
It,
ask him that.
it would be just be Lawrence Tavern because
Local
because
government.
it's a local government election.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a local government
Well,
election.
in that regard, then I guess he grew up in the community. He should know it, in and out. If he grew up there, and if he has been observing what's going on with the other MPs in the area, then
Oh,
he should not just come up with as I said, you point out the issues, but come up with recommendations on how to solve it and take action.
yeah.
So
Well, Michelle said she have a property in a house in Lawrence Tavern, so I'm going to try to see if I can link them. So well, listen. On Sunday night, tonight actually, in a couple hours, I think there's going to be another of the debates in Jamaica between the JLP and the PNP, and that's one of the reasons why I like underdogs. I like underdogs. I like persons
yeah,
who are struggling in a sense because I picked up the energy from a few of the independents and even with UIC as well. I think I got a message from UIC, a representative from UIC, and what they said this is what they said to me that we're having a protest today in front of the venue where the debates are held. We'll start around 6 p.m. You know, so yeah, so they're having a difficulty because they are one of the political parties in Jamaica. There's 4 registered political parties: PNP, JLP, and 2 more. So
So,
there's a lot of little issues. Yeah, yeah.
the interesting thing, Silver, I was thinking, if someone has a good argument,
Mm.
the pathway to winning political representative in Jamaica is there. Because if you just think about it, the last election was 32%, 36%.
36. I think it's 37% or so. Yeah.
Right. You have a set of electorate that you could convince to come out to the poll. Right.
Yes.
So if I was, whoever political party, you have 67% of the electorate, that if you get 20% of that,
Mm.
you could get into political representative. And the question how you do that, and I think is going door to door and convincing folks that you're different and here's why. But there's a huge opportunity. I've never seen such a great opportunity in Jamaica than before, because the electorate there, they are disenfranchised. They don't believe in either party anymore.
And
Yeah,
the
but
thing about
O'Neill,
and
remember,
sorry, Herbert. Yes, please.
yeah, remember, even though they're disenfranchised, they're the same ones who are coming out to vote for the politicians and not the policies. Because if they were that disenfranchised, or they feel that they're disenfranchised, they will look at the policies, look at the people standing beside what they said in the last election,
Did they do it?
But that's the
and
32%, right? That's the
make
32% who
no,
are stalwart, but those 67% that
They didn't.
didn't show up.
Yeah, that's what O'Neill is saying. The 67% didn't vote. Is the 32%, which was split between I think it was 500. I think it was 400,000 or 500,000 for the JLP, and either 400,000 or 300,000 for the PNP. But there's something also which was said earlier today about the training. Someone said about training, and I recall when I was with Operation Black Vote, I shadowed a couple MPs. I shadowed the former Attorney General, which was Dominic Grieve. I shadowed the father of the House, Peter Bottomley, and I shadowed Andrew Pellin. He was from Croydon. I think he went over to the Labour Party. And one of the things that we learned was about political and electioneering as well. I stood for council candidate a couple of times. I had my children going door to door with leaflets. And when
how
I
many
thought,
votes did you get?
I'm sorry.
How many votes did you get?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. But I didn't win. It was in
The-
in Lewisham here.
O'Neill, O'Neill,
Sorry.
you probably get 3 votes. Like his neighbor himself.
No, it was in the hundreds. well. Actually, one time, I think one time somebody said, "What? I only have 3 followers on my," and somebody said, "All right, Silburn, just tell him says me, you, and Shelly and the kid." But the point though is that when I think about the leaflets, that is expensive because you got election tend to operate still a lot on leaflets, a lot, going door to door, touching people flesh and speaking to them, and that costs. So I mean, the social media, you wonder who is on the social media that they can reach. Are they reaching people on the social media, if anything, right? Can the social media reach people?
In Jamaica,
Yeah.
to reach people in Jamaica on social media, right?
Which, yeah.
Your content has to be that limited, because some people in Jamaica do not have the mental acuity to understand what they're saying,
Mm.
right? To reach people on social media, you have to be making scandal videos or scandalous content for you to reach them.
Mm.
Anything outside of that is way above their pay grade, and they won't be able to. You won't be able to reach them.
So therefore, to capture them, you have to do a clickbait, and within the clickbait, once they jump into the clickbait, you have to get the message in fast, and then
Yeah,
they say,
7 seconds. 2 seconds.
Kadian, do you agree with that, Kadian?
Yes, I do. You have to have some kind of controversy in order for you to get any traction. That's how people get to go viral and all these stuff. They put on some scandalous stuff and then people go and watch it, and that's what gets the ball rolling.
I mean, somebody was on TikTok was saying, "You don't say nothing about the gun." I said, "Which gun? I'm not a gunman." They said the 64 gun, which was found in Jamaica. I said, "What do you want me to say? I'm not a duppy or a gunman."
No,
What do you want
let
you
the
know?
police do them work.
Hey, what am I to say about the gunman? The gun they found in Jamaica? Ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica found gun. Okay. I mean, I don't have
We
time.
advertising so the importers can go hide and try to do it better next time that they don't
Yes,
get caught.
yes. Well, listen. In wrapping up tonight, anyway, I just want to say that Emika, she had sent me something, so I just want to promote that. So get your mouth watering. There's a video there. What's cracking?
Wow, wow, pretty. Oh
Shrimps and
Lord.
stuff like that. So
So
only the
you gonna order tonight? You have to
Huh?
go order.
Maybe
You're gonna order tonight.
No, you know, from me, we just go pick up Silver and Jog and don't Borough High Street. No, no,
So
far
you
away.
got
What's
Huh?
what's cracking? Get hooked. American Cajun seafood boil. Put all
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
party.
yeah, yeah.
Use code. There you are. What's cracking seafood boil. So
Right.
so, so
Okay.
so so there it is, and you can get that um at any time, and of course it's what should I say? It's very important that when I do it, um I do have to put some music to it. There it is. Yeah, there we are. I'm sure she'll be happy about that. Banner. And what's cracking seafood there? Just promoting that. And listen, tomorrow night I'm on this event here, which is about let me find it's gonna be at 9 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock UK time.
Mhm.
Yeah, 7 o'clock UK time. Where is it? There it is. Go Nation 2024. Go Nation 2024. Our 61-year independence journey. Lessons for creating a Jamaica Republic. And tomorrow night I'll be on it, giving a presentation from the UK as to the ways and how that I use my platform to promote some of the discussions in regards to constitution reform. Moderator is Cabo Matt Kiro. Panelists will be Professor Rosalie Hamilton, my very regular guest, Bert Samuel, Daniel Archer,
Who's Bert
director.
Samuels?
He's a lawyer, one of those QKCs in Jamaica.
Oh yeah. The dancer lawyer.
I think he's also one of the representatives for Vibes Cartel, isn't it? Is he? I don't know.
No, for popcorn.
Oh, popcorn, yeah. So that's tomorrow night. Yeah. What you guys? I mean, what's your take on the Vibes Cartel thing? Were you? What's your take on that?
I
The
haven't been
war.
paying attention much. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't been paying attention much what's going on in Vibes Cartel
Only they're
world.
smarter than I think.
Yeah, it's like for years, it comes up, and I'm like, this is my brain. Actually, what I was doing, I was listening to new country music by Gramps Morgan. So that's Gramps just put on a new. It's called Island or something like that. So that's a bit of how I'm sort of paying attention to music. I'm actually been immersed more into my son music than anything, because as you guys know, my son is a rapper, Mentality Cross in New York, and he's putting out some good music. So I've been just listening to his music.
Wow. Well, we got to get him on to do some rapping, and myself can rap with him, and do a competition, a beatbox. Only you don't know these things. You're in the Arcadian. Name is on the microphone, rapping on the mic. I'm the Dan. You got Herbert, my shit. O'Neill the Don, Cadian Snow.
Oh boy.
You really wonder why they create 9 to 5s, right?
That's why they create 9 to 5s.
You wonder why they create 9 to 5s for people like Silver?
Huh? What's that?
Yeah, they create 9 to 5s for people. Yeah, keep your job, yeah? Don't try to lose it.
Okay. Well, listen, guys, it was a great evening, and very educational, I must say. So thank you, Cadian. Thank you for joining in. And how's the Rasta Farmer? How's the books? Tell us how your books going. How's the books going?
Okay, so the Rasta Farmer is doing good. Actually, it's now on Amazon Audible #2.
Okay.
So it's number 2 on Amazon Audible. It was number 7 this morning, but then when I checked it not too long ago, it's number 2, and it's a number 1 release. So when you go on Amazon, you'll see it, the little thing up there that says, the orange thing that says number 1 release. So it's people are listening to it. And for persons who are interested in listening to it, there's a 30-day free trial on Audible and Amazon for you to listen to it.
Okay.
What is Rasta Farm about?
All right, so the Rasta Farmer is actually a biography about my biological dad being a Rasta farmer in Jamaica. He's from St. Elizabeth in Coca. And then it also talks about my bald Rasta. So I was talking about, how we were looking at the history of Rasta being dreaded or considered to be dread. And nowadays it's no acceptable. And, how I looked at my dad, I didn't dread it.
Like what we were talking a while ago about Bob Marley.
Right. It's so funny. I'm just wondering if it's because of this Bob Marley movement with this movie where a lot of people are listening to it. But I'm surprised that it's number 2 on Amazon because I never do much promotion for it. And then I see it at number 2 today. So I'm like, whoa, who is listening to it?
See, I got a fan there. I got a fan for my rapping. They say, all righty then, Silverns. I got a fan there for my rapping.
Let me ask you something, Kaden.
Yes.
What year are you still in Coca?
No, I left Coca in maybe when I was 3 years old.
that was in the 90s?
Yeah, that would have been in the 90s because I born 89. So technically that would have been in the 90s when I left Coca.
Are you familiar with a case where a guy killed his wife and children up there?
No.
They're too young. It happened in 95.
Oh wow, that must have been when I was a kid, and I would have been in Kingston by then.
Okay.
You're familiar with Coca?
Yeah, man. I used to be stationed up in Saro.
I thought you were talking cocoa. I thought it was cocoa you eat. I didn't know you were talking about the place. That was cocoa you eat.
No, man. No. Silburn. The limit of your local knowledge is limited to Ocho. Yeah. Let's put it out there. Right? That's the limit of your local knowledge. And from Ocho to the airport when you left Jamaica. Right.
I remember one time I went into a neighborhood and it was in Kingston. The first time ever going
you couldn't find a way out.
In a city place. And boy, man, I tell you, I had to announce myself that I was going in there. And I mean, it was like a different world, man. It was like a different world.
You couldn't find a way out.
Well, I found. I'm here. I'm here. That was.
I was stationed in Magati, and then I went up to Silo.
Oh, then you went up to Silo.
Yeah. That was in the height of the sugar, the sugar industry.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right. Okay. Well, listen. Have a good night, O'Neill. Thank you so much, Herbert. Thank you so much, Katie.
O'Neill, I need to know when you're coming over, so I can make myself available.
I'll get your number from him. So.
Yeah, man. We'll have a link up.
Yeah.
We'll have a link up.
Yeah,
Definitely. We'll have a link up.
Because Silvan only knows South,
All right. Herbert, peace out, yeah? Take care of yourself.
Yeah, peace. Nice to meet you, Kaden.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining tonight. Thank you for those. Thank you, Uj, for coming on and sharing with us your passion in regards to politics. And thank you as well, Emeka, for coming on. And there you are. What's cracking seafood ball takeaway? Only 07551-857-8366. And you can order the lovely food there. There it is. Shocking. Awesome. And there it is. You get the best from Jamaica, Creative. And there it is. Get hooked. American Cajun pre-order Monday to Friday. And what's cracking seafood boil. And thank you for Michelle for coming on as well. And thank you for the information. And remember, tomorrow night, I'll be on this program. And I think there's a link. There's a link I'm going to put out to it as well. It's on YouTube. And and there it is, Sunday, February the 18th. That's going to be 7 o'clock UK time, 5 o'clock, 7 to, yeah, I think about 2 o'clock Jamaica time. It's Go Nation 2024. There was Sunday, the February the 4th, Sunday, February the 11th, Sunday, February the 18th, which I'll be on. And yeah, and we'll give more information on that. So have a good night. God bless you. Let me see, who is this? Michelle. Me never hear them parishes yet. Okay. Thank you on Instagram as well. Thank you on TikTok. Thank you on Instagram. Let me say I saw some comments earlier today. I may have missed those. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, and thank you very much. Peace out, and God bless you. Bye bye. Thank you.